Welcome back to my channel. Now it's been just a little minute since I've done a ramen video, so I thought it was about time that I did another ramen video. So let's get in the kitchen and let's see what's cooking. Okay, you know how these ramen videos start. Get you a pot of water, put it on the stove top, turn it on high. We need this water to boil. When this water starts boiling, we're going to add in this pack of ramen. But today, I am actually going to use the seasoning packet. Now, if you prefer not to use the seasoning packet, don't use it. That's up to you. Personal preference. Okay, my water's boiling, so in go my noodles. I have broke them up. You can break them up or not. Doesn't really matter. A lot of times I don't. This time I chose to. It's not that serious. Just dump them in. I know I should use a spoon, but I'm not. It doesn't really matter. It's still going to work the same. But I need a spatula in what we're going to do next. So I'm not going to dirty a spoon and a spatula. It is what it is. Now I'm also going to add in the seasoning packet. Just follow the directions on your ramen pack and cook this part according to the directions. If you don't want to use the seasoning packet, don't use it. Okay, my ramen noodles have cooked now for about 2.5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and take mine off the heat, and I'm going to drain them because they're going in a pan with some other things. So I'm going to drain it and set it to the side. Okay, I have my pan back here on the stove. I've got it turned on a medium heat. Now to that pan back here, you want to add a tablespoon of butter. That's probably a little bit more than a tablespoon, not by much. And it's okay if you have a little bit over a tablespoon of butter. I mean, ramen is very forgiving, so it is not the end of the world if you're not exact on every single thing when you cook. Now to your butter, you want to add 2 teaspoons of minced garlic and 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. You want to mix that around in your butter. And you just want to saute that up for just a minute or so. Now the recipe doesn't call for this, but if you've been watching any of my videos for any length of time, you know I really love onion. So I'm going to chop some onion up in here, just a little bit. You don't have to add onion. I just think that onion gives food a lot of flavor, and I prefer it in mine, so there you go. You just want to stir that onion around in with the garlic and the red pepper flakes. You just want to saute it for a minute or two. Let that garlic get good and fragrant. When it starts turning a little bit brown, that's when you know it's had enough on the heat and that you need to add in the rest of your ingredients. This step, we're making our sauce. Now what we're actually making today with the ramen is a sweet and spicy ramen noodles. Okay, next you want to add in 1 tablespoon of soy sauce and 1 teaspoon of brown sugar. Get the soy sauce and brown sugar stirred around with the rest of it. So you've got your sweet with the brown sugar and you've got your spicy with the red pepper flakes. Next, you want to take your ramen that you cooked and drained, and you just want to add it into that sauce. Stir your ramen around in that sauce to get it nice and coated. I think the onions are going to be a nice addition. Once your ramen is all coated with the sauce, you want to push it over to one side. You want to turn your heat up to high. And you want to crack 1 egg directly into the pan on this other side. And try not to get any shell in. like I just did. You want to scramble this egg all around. And once your egg starts getting set and cooked, you just want to mix it in with your ramen noodles. Once you have that all good and mixed up, take it off that heat. I'm going to get my ramen put into this bowl. Now you want to take some everything bagel seasoning, sprinkle on the top, and you're going to season to taste with this seasoning. So you sprinkle however much or little that you want all over the top. Okay, here we have our sweet and spicy ramen. Looks and smells delicious. We're going to give it a taste. I hope I get all the flavors in there. Here goes. Oh, that's good. I get a hint of the sweet from the brown sugar, the spicy from the red pepper flakes, and the everything bagel seasoning adds a nice flavor to this. I'm going to go eat. Enjoy. Okay, let's go check this next recipe out. First things first, pot of water on the stovetop, turn on high, bring it to a boil. Get your ramen open, any flavor, doesn't matter. Because you're going to take this packet and toss it to the side. While I'm waiting on the water for the ramen to start boiling, I've got me a pan back here. I've turned it on a medium heat, and we're going to add about a half a tablespoon to a tablespoon of oil. Now I'm not going to measure this. I'm just going to eyeball it. This is olive oil. Use whatever you've got. That should be plenty. Close enough. I'm going to go ahead and put my ramen in. I have broke mine up into, I don't know, large chunks. Just dump it in. Let it boil for about 3 minutes. While my ramen is cooking, we're going to get this going back here. I already have my oil in my skillet and I'm letting it get hot. As soon as it gets hot, you need to add in a half a pound of skirt steak that's cut into thin strips. Well, I don't have skirt steaks, but I am going to use this, okay? These are just those sliced steaks, kind of like steakums. Same thing, same concept. I'm going to use, I think, 4 of these, and we're going to throw that in that pot with the oil and get it cooked up. Use whatever kind of beef you want to use. We are making a spicy steak ramen. If you've never used these before, this is what they look like. I haven't used these very often, but do find that these are great to keep on hand if you're doing something like this where you just need a little bit of beef and you don't want to open a whole big pack. My ramen is finished. It's done, so I'm going to drain it and set it to the side. You can just break these up with your spatula. You just want to cook these till they're brown. Now the recipe that I'm going by actually calls for minced onion. I don't have minced onion. I'm going to put some fresh onion in. I'm just going to dice it up into small little pieces. And I'm going to let it cook up in there with this steak. Now that my steak is pretty much done, it's good and browned up, I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of hot sauce. You use whatever kind of hot sauce you have on hand or your favorite brand. This happens to be mine. Let's get that in there. Just pour it in right in with your beef. You're also going to add in 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. A 1/2 tablespoon of white vinegar. A 1/2 tablespoon of minced garlic. If you're using minced onion, you would put that in now. And I'm going to start stirring this up in here. Getting it all mixed up with that beef. And now you want to add in 1.5 tablespoons of brown sugar. Get that stirred up. And you get all that stirred in there, you're going to turn your heat down a little bit, maybe to about a low to medium. And you're going to cook this for about 5 minutes. That 5 minutes gives all those flavors time to be combined together to make this a really delicious ramen. After about 5 minutes of letting this simmer, you want to add your ramen into this pot with your beef. You want to get that all stirred up, mixed together. It looks delicious. Let's get it dished up. This is missing just one thing, and that is some green onions. So if you don't like onions, you can skip this step. I happen to love green onions, so I'm putting them on mine. And here you go, spicy steak ramen. Let's give it a taste. Okay, y'all. Here we have our spicy steak ramen. Now, I like spicy, so I hope it's not too spicy. Let's give it a taste. Oh, that is good. That's really good. Like I said, it calls for skirt steak. I didn't have skirt steak, but I did have some of those little steaks on hand. So it's great if you're one person and you don't want to open a whole package of beef. It's great. I'm gonna go eat. Hey, y'all. I'm over here still eating this spicy steak ramen. Just FYI, if you're going to make this one, you better like spicy. I just so happen to love spicy food. And I can almost breathe fire over here. It's so spicy. But it sure is good. All of those flavors together. Oh, man. It's absolutely delicious. But it is spicy. Let's get this video started with putting a pot on the stove. Add 2 cups of water into that pot and turn it on high. When this water comes to a boil, you want to take a pack of chicken flavored ramen and you want to break it up into large pieces and put it in this pot. Do not, I repeat, do not throw this away this time. We're going to be using this today. Alright, let's add our ramen in. Now I know that the directions on the ramen package usually call for more water than this, but we're going to be adding some liquid in. This is going to be a 1-pot ramen dish. You're just going to cook these noodles for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now don't forget to add in your seasoning packet like I almost did. You need that in there today. Stir that around in there. After your noodles have cooked for 2 to 3 minutes, you want to add in a small can. This is an 8.75 ounce can of whole kernel corn. Just dump that right in. I have drained mine. I guess that's going to be a personal preference as to whether you drain it or not. You're going to get that stirred up in there really well. Next, you want to add in 1 cup of milk. A teaspoon of onion powder. We're going to give it a heaping teaspoon because I like some onion powder. A 1/4 teaspoon of curry powder. And a tablespoon of dried parsley. I'm going to be using parsley flakes. Get all of that mixed up in with your corn and your ramen. Now I'm going to keep this on a medium heat, and I'm going to let it come back up to a slight boil. We're going to let this cook for just a minute. Now while we're letting this heat through, you want to take 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. I've already got mine in a bowl. This is what I'm using. To our cornstarch, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of cold water. We're going to be making a slurry. And there's 2. You just want to get that cornstarch and water all stirred together till it's nice and smooth. Now we're going to pour this into our noodles. Get that stirred up. Keep an eye on it because that cornstarch slurry is going to start thickening this up really nice. We are making a quick ramen chowder. That's what this is today. Oh, that's thickening up really, really nice. We'll give this just a minute, and then we'll get it dished up. This makes enough. If you're really hungry and you're eating it for dinner, eat the whole thing. If you're like me and you're going to be eating it for your, oops, sorry, it's really hot. If you're going to be eating it for like a lunch, then you may want to split this into 2 servings and eat it 2 days in a row. Either way, it's going to be delicious, and it's a quick, easy lunch or dinner. Heck, you can even eat ramen for breakfast. But this is a very quick ramen chowder. Look how delicious that looks. This looks and smells delicious, but we're not finished just yet. We're going to top this chowder with a tablespoon of bacon bits, and some shredded cheese. Now it calls for cheddar cheese, but I always have this, so this is what I'm using. Use whatever cheese you would like to use. It calls for 3/4 cup, so we're just going to see. I'm not going to put the whole 3/4 cup on because I'm not eating all of it. So we'll put about half. You may even want to add some green onions to the top if you'd like. It's ramen. It's very forgiving, very simple, very easy. Make it your own. Let's give this a taste. Okay, y'all. Hard to see it in this bowl without tipping the bowl over. It smells delicious. It looks delicious. I don't know that I've ever eaten a chowder of any kind. So let's see what I've been missing out on when it comes to chowder. That's delicious. That is really good. That's a nice, comforting bowl of chowder. I'm gonna go eat. I hope you've enjoyed this video of making ramen 3 more different ways. All 3 recipes were very delicious. Very simple to make, and they only cost pennies. If you enjoyed this video, please go give it a like, share the video, leave me a comment below, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.